UW360 is proudly supported by BECU, a not-for-profit member-owned credit union. Pacific Office Automation, copy, print, workflow, and IT. Problem solved.
Okay, so tell me what you guys see here. What did you observe?
It's a chilly, rain-drenched morning for Rob Turner's geomorphology class at UW Bothell. He's teaching his students how to properly assess the effectiveness of the newly restored wetlands on Lower North Creek, right next to campus.
So I want them to hone their observational skills and to look at the landscape and see what's going on here, what's not natural.
It didn't take long for Turner and his students to find some problem areas.
You can see behind us this tiny little pond. And what it does is it captures runoff that is brought here in a series of storm sewers, catch basins, and pipes. It's a rather small little pond, and it can't really accommodate the volumes of flow we get during rain events.
The pond may be lacking, but it serves as an open laboratory for students to learn how these ecosystems work.
So things are not quite working as planned here. It's not exactly doing what it's supposed to do.
It's 58.5 acres of restored floodplain wetland. It's a habitat gem within an area that's rapidly urbanizing.
Professor Warren Gold says what's unique about the Bothell Wetlands is that they're surrounded by an urban area that's rapidly growing. It wasn't always like this.
Most of our wetlands in the region naturally were forested wetlands, and so you could think of like a cedar swamp, big towering western red cedar trees and skunk cabbage and a very sort of primeval feeling, lots of mucky soils.
European settlers quickly changed all that in the late 1800s.
What people did is they moved up North Creek Valley and they logged, they removed a lot of the timber. As the timber was removed, they needed to get it to the sawmills, and those were on the shores of Lake Washington. They straightened out the stream, so they really altered North Creek. And as they straightened the stream out and put big dikes around it, that dried this area out a little bit.
Once they were finished logging, settlers turned the valley into pastures for cattle, and it remained prime grazing land for most of the 20th century. But in 1995, the state of Washington purchased 122 acres to build a new campus for the University of Washington in Bothell.
The state, back in the late 1900s, actually had funds and thought this was a tremendous opportunity to restore not just 5 or 6 acres to make up for what they were filling on the hillside, but to actually restore a fully functioning floodplain ecosystem.
Restoration began in 1998 with the construction of a new stream channel system that returned North Creek to a more natural state. Today, the Bothell Wetlands ranks among the largest floodplain restoration projects in the Pacific Northwest.
Wetlands are tremendous kidneys. They clean water, they regulate against floods, they provide areas for people to come out and recharge and study nature.
And this particular wetland gives students access to real environmental challenges outside the classroom, critical training for the next generation.
One of the great challenges to society right now in terms of how we're going to move forward in a sustainable way is to figure out how we can sustain natural areas within a human-dominated landscape. How can we maintain a certain degree of natural function in our ecosystems in areas where we are living, right where we're living?